What's good, family? This is Ryan Jackson from Ryan Jackson LLC. Hope you all are having a blessed and wonderful day. Hope you're doing well. Um, at the beginning of my last video, I touched on this. All praises due to Allah for my friends down in Tampa, in the Tampa Bay area, for getting their power back on. I'm so happy. I was so happy to see that. That did my heart well. Um, I heard that my friends and their neighbors, people in their neighborhood there, they got their power restored. And all praises are due to Allah. For those who have lost loved ones, who were injured, who lost their homes, their belongings, you're in my prayers. You're in my prayers. Even my friends who power is restored, y'all are always in my prayers, and will continue to be. And let's continue to keep them in our prayers, y'all. Those affected by Hurricane Helene and Milton. Please continue to keep them in your prayers. Hope y'all are having a blessed and wonderful day. Hope everything's going well for you. It's Wednesday, hump day, like they say. We're halfway through the week. And the likelihood that you're having one of those days, because in this life, we know we all have those days. Always remember this. Tough times don't last, tough people do. Keep your hope, trust, and faith in Allah, God, and He will see you through. I could definitely bear witness to that. Get into the topic for this video. 29 years ago today, October 16th, 1995, was the Million Man March, the Holy Day of Atonement. The Million Man March, led by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Great leader, great man. I can't say enough about this man, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He saved my life. I hope to someday meet him and to tell him that, but he saved my life. My life has purpose. It has meaning. When I accepted Islam and accepted Allah, my life has been great. Islam is a beautiful thing. Many of y'all who listen, can attest to what I'm saying. And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, this man has done the work for almost close to 70 years. Next year it will be 70 years, 69 years. He has sacrificed his life, his family, all that he know to build a nation, of strong, powerful men and women. He's gone around the world. He's been through, oh my gosh, he's been through a lot. Death threats, people turning on him, turning their backs on him. People that he thought had his best interests at heart, who he would help, they turned their back on him. Like I said, he received death threats from the Jewish community. You end up going, oh, you went to the 20th anniversary. I missed out on both. I'm gonna touch on that in a second. And thank you for tuning in, Brother Will. Salute to you. I just can't say enough about that man, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, or the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Master Fraud Muhammad, who came as Allah in the person of Master Fraud Muhammad. I can't say enough about these three men. Enough about the brothers and sisters in the Nation of Islam. But the Million Man March, I will never forget it, because I'm still kicking myself. I was really kicking myself in both legs, kicking myself hard for not being there. I should have been there. I was in the military at the time. I had been in for about what, 3 months? Yep, I had been in 3 months. So I was at my duty station. 4 months. I've been in 4 months. When I was at my duty station, I had just graduated uh my technical school, had took leave, and I was in my at my base in North Dakota, Minot, North Dakota, during the Million Man March. And I was like, why am I here? I should be there. I remember the Million Man March coming on BET and it was on C-SPAN. Me and a few of my buddies who were black as well, black airmen, we were in the day room. So in the barracks, we had a day room. In the day room, you had a big TV, a huge TV there, a VCR, a pool table, um, two couches, and a telephone. That was the day room. The day room, was for relaxation. If you want to shoot pool, you want to make a phone call, if you want to watch TV or watch movies, that was the purpose of it. The day room had to be cleaned, and all of our barracks had one. So we were watching the Million Man March on BET in the day room, me and my buddies, and we just looked at each other. We were like, we should be there. We should be in Washington, D.C. at the Million Man March. We seen brothers just coming together. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan called for 1 million black men. 2 million showed up. Of course, the National Mall, the park police, whatever you want to call them, they said it was 800,000 that showed up. That's a lie. That's a blatant lie. There were way more than 800,000 there. There were 2 million black men. 2 million. The minister called for 1 million. 2 million showed up. A million more than what he called for. I'll never forget my uncle in Detroit. My uncle took, I think, 2 or 3 busloads of men down to Washington, D.C. One of them was my brother, one of my older brothers. He went. He was at the Million Man March. My uncle was there and others. I wasn't there. I wanted to be there. But I'm in Minot, North Dakota, watching it on BET. But I'm thankful that I had the experience of watching it. I'm thankful for that. That's the greatest event ever in the history of this nation, was the Million Man March. I'm going to repeat that again. The greatest event in this nation's history is the Million Man March. That's right, I said it. I dare anyone to debate me on that. Name me one event that was greater than the Million Man March. The March on Washington, it was good. Yeah, that was okay, great. But not better than Million Man March. I'm sorry. Nope. Nope. Rosa Parks spoke at the Million Man March. Sister Dr. Betty Shabazz spoke at the Million Man March. Maya Angelou spoke at the Million Man March. Who else? Angela Davis spoke at the Million Man March. Powerful black women were on that stage speaking at that Million Man March. Jesse Jackson, we know Jesse Jackson spoke there. Ben Chavis. I just wish Dr. Khaled had been there. Dr. Khaled Muhammad, but he had left the nation at that time. But I wish he was there with the minister. I wish Tupac and Biggie were there, but we know why they weren't. that devil Suge Knight did not want Pac at the Million Man March because he knew that if that if Pac was there, his life would have changed. If Biggie was there, his life would have changed. Puffy knew that. Well, hell, Suge and Puffy should have been there, along with Biggie and Pac. I dare to say if Puffy and or Diddy, whatever you want to call them, and Suge had been there, their lives would have turned. They would Suge Knight wouldn't have gone to prison. Diddy wouldn't be in the mess he's in now. Pac would still be alive. Biggie would still be alive. They would have. Suge Knight would have been an outstanding brother. He would have been a great entrepreneur. Could you imagine if Suge Knight would have been at the Million Man March? Would have broke from those devils, his white puppet masters, and been there and heard the knowledge from the minister, from others that were on that stage, seeing black men, 2 million black men being unified? That would have changed Suge Knight's life around. Suge Knight would have been one of the greatest black music moguls ever, bigger than Berry Gordy, bigger than Kenny Gamble and Huff. Yeah, Gamble and Huff, bigger than them. He would have Diddy. They would have came together. Him and Suge. All that East Coast West Coast bullshit never would have happened. It would have stopped. It would have stopped right there at the Million Man March. They would not have continued it. Both Tupac and Biggie would have still been alive had they been at the Million Man March. I will bet my life savings on that. And hip hop will still be alive. That's right, Brother Will. It would still be alive. Did he show up? That's a good question. I didn't think he did. Maybe I'm wrong, but if he did show up and he still did what he did, what did he learn? Why the hell was he there? If you're gonna go to a Million Man March and continue to do devilish things, why the hell even go? If you're not gonna change your lives. Because the purpose of the Million Man March was for brothers to take a pledge, not to hate another black man, not to kill another black man. That was the pledge that they took. To be pillars in their communities. I witnessed it on TV. My uncle told me that, as well as my older brother. So the march aimed to promote unity, responsibility, and accountability among black men. So if Diddy was there and he took the pledge to promote unity, responsibility, and hold himself accountable, and he's in the mess that he's in now, then why the hell was he there? What did he learn? Oh gosh. I just wish I was there. I wish I could have been there. I tried to make the 20th anniversary of the Million Man March, but I couldn't. I was at that time I was living out here. I had been out here for a year, and I couldn't make it. I couldn't get off work. The minister had came to a Baptist church here in Oakland, out in West Oakland, and he was speaking there, gearing up momentum for the 20th anniversary for the Million Man March. And I couldn't make it to that church because I had to go to a damn job. And I missed out on the 20th anniversary of the Million Man March. I don't know if they're going to have a 30th anniversary next year. I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything, but I plan on being there. Inshallah. Inshallah. Hit that thumbs up button, smash that thumbs up button down. Hit the subscribe button so you get notifications on whenever I do videos on here. I just can't help but think how many lives would have been changed. How many black men, our brothers who weren't there, who would have been alive today, who wouldn't have gone to the gulags. Now, when the Million Man March, October 16th, 1995, that was a pivotal time in the black community that year, 1995. I say that because I was 19 years old. So I was an adult, a young adult, a young black man, 19 years old, America's nightmare. But I had raised my hand and joined the Air Force. I joined the Air Force July 5th, 1995. Never forget it. It was on a Wednesday. Well, that was my first day of enlistment, July 5th, 1995. I was 19 years old, joined out of Detroit. Never forget it. On a Wednesday, 19 years old. But that was a pivotal time in our for the black community because a year before that, Bill Clinton, the first black president, signed into legislation the crime bill, the 1994 crime bill, 95, 94. He signed it in 94. What did that crime bill do? It sent thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of black men to the gulags for nonviolent drug charges, breaking up thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of black families. Black fathers were in the gulags. Who wrote the crime bill, you may ask? If Bill Clinton signed it into legislation, who wrote it? The current president of the United States, Jim Crow Joe Biden. That's right. The current president of these United States wrote that crime bill. And the first black president, Bill Clinton, signed it into legislation. That bill also was the start of more prisons being built around this country. Bill Clinton built more prisons, or I should say, Bill Clinton had more prisons built than any president in United States history. Let me repeat that. Bill Clinton had more prisons built than any president in US history. He was a law and order president. Bill Clinton was Ronald Reagan and George H.W. Bush's dream. He was their dream come true. Reagan wanted to do what Bill Clinton did, but he didn't. He wasn't able to do it. His 8 years ran out. H.W. Bush wanted to do what Bill Clinton did, but he didn't. The nation was was headed to a recession. We were in this goofy Iraq war the first time around, and people were tired of Reaganomics. 12 years of Reaganomics, because all H.W. Bush did was continue his predecessor's policies, because George H.W. Bush was Reagan's vice president. So that 12 years of Reaganomics, people had enough. They thought Bill Clinton was a fresher breath of air. Well, I'm fresher. Lord have mercy. They thought Bill Clinton was a breath of fresh air. They did. They thought he was, but he wasn't. He continued those same damn policies. Bill Clinton was a conservative. He's what you call a Dixiecrat, a conservative Democrat. Yes, they existed. Southern Democrats, very conservative. They were called Dixiecrats. A Dixiecrat was Lyndon Baines Johnson, who was the vice president of John F. Kennedy. He amped up our efforts in Vietnam, or I should say, amped up our invasion of Vietnam. Yep, Lyndon Baines Johnson, good old boy from Texas. So Bill Clinton was just a Dixiecrat in the 90s. He was tough on law. He was a law and order president. That's why a lot of Republicans supported Bill Clinton. He had great support in the South. Well, hell, Bill Clinton was governor of Arkansas, where he, by the way, he refused to sign the civil rights bill. But they don't want to have that conversation. Tough, law and order president. So the Million Man March was the year after Clinton signed that into legislation. And the minister knew that. That's why the minister wanted black men to make a pledge to promote unity, responsibility, accountability among us, leaving a profound sense of brotherhood and hope for the future, to be better fathers, better husbands, better men in our community, be pillars in our community, better sons, just all around good, decent people. We make that pledge because they were locking us up. Locking us up. Y'all remember that three strikes law? Yeah. That's what the first black president, Bill Clinton, was promoting, the three strikes law. And it got brothers sent to the gulags. Am I right or am I absolutely right about this? Hip hop was also changing. 1995, hip hop was changing. You still had conscious hip hop, but it was changing because it was going toward uh, G funk, gangster rap, Snoop and Dre promoting marijuana. I mentioned that in my last video. Calling black women bitches and hoes. Excuse me for saying that. Promoting the killing of other black men. Gangster rap was starting to take over. Yes, you had your conscious rap. You still had your KRS Ones, your Chuck D's, Public Enemy. They were still out there in 95. But they were being drowned out slowly but surely. Slowly but surely. And the minister saw that. Brand Nubian had broke up. Grand Puba was doing his thing. Lord Jamar was doing his thing. Sadat X was doing his thing. Poor Righteous Teachers wasn't on the scene anymore. Sister Soldier was around, but she wasn't out there like she was in 90, 91, 92, 93. The minister paid attention to this. The minister is a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant man. He paid attention to what was going on. Because when I was in middle school and my early years of high school, hip hop, that was our news source. It was giving us knowledge. You seen the fruit of Islam in rap videos. You saw our late brother Dr. Khalid Muhammad in rap videos. May Allah be pleased with him. Peace be upon him. The late great Dr. Brother Khalid Muhammad. Brother Dr. Khalid Muhammad. Oh man, them were the great days of hip hop, the golden era. Professor Griff, X-Clan, Sissies, Cam, Brother Cam, who I feel is underrated. Cam, that's right, Brother West Coast Cam. He was spitting knowledge. Cube was spitting knowledge when he left NWA. All these conscious rappers. It's just sad. In 95, it was starting to change. It was starting to shift. Because you had this East Coast, West Coast bullshit. And who benefited from that beef? The record execs, the magazine labels. That's right. They benefited off of Black death, off of Black people beefing with each other. They were sitting back and laughing and counting the money while it was coming in. Look at this. Look at these niggas going at each other over over some foolishness. We're gonna benefit off of this, and they benefited greatly. Every time MTV talked about it, every time the Source magazine reported on it, Rolling Stone, all these magazines, especially Rolling Stone, it's like they got off on it. Excuse me. It's like they got their jollies off on it. Every time you turn around, East Coast, West Coast, The Source, MTV, the music execs, run by the Jews, the magazine publications, run by the Jews. They benefited off of it. They benefited off of Black pain, Black trauma, Black death. They always have and always will. It's what they do. The minister saw this. So the Million Man March came at a great, great time. Our community was being torn apart. Now look where it's at. One thing I can say about 1995, Black people were more unified then than they are now. There wasn't a divisiveness between the Black man and the Black woman then that there is now. You had little, things here and there, but now it's just full scale, blown out of proportion. I mentioned in my last video about Obama, Barack Obama, creating division between the Black man and Black woman for not supporting the Indian lady for president. We're so divisive now. We don't have unity amongst our people. If you thought it was bad in 1995, those of us who are allowed to remember 95, if you thought it was bad then, it's worse now. The Nation of Islam, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the Nation of Islam, we're doing our part, but we need the help of the community. We cannot do it alone. We cannot do it alone. This is why we need unity amongst our people. We don't have to agree on everything, but we have to realize that we have a common enemy and we have to have solutions to fight this enemy. We have to have the weapons to fight this enemy. What's the solution to the problem? How are we going to take this enemy out? There are too many of us who look like us who are the enemy. It's worse in 95 than it is. It's worse now than it was in 95, excuse me. It's worse now. It was bad in 95. You start to see it a little bit in 95. But now it's just blown, it's just, oh my God. It's on record levels now. At least in 95, you had some positivity of black love. The black man was shown being there was more of an appreciation of black masculinity in 95. There was. Black masculinity was on the forefront in 95. The black man and the black woman were together in 95. Yes, you had little problems here and there, but now it's just full, it's like a full-scale civil war now. I pray we come back, we come out of this. I look back at 1995 and I look to now. It's like 1995 was like a distant planet. It's like I was living on a distant planet in 1995 compared to now. Like I've been transported to a different planet. There are more zombies now than there were then. We're talking almost 30 years ago. Some of y'all weren't even alive then. And if you were, some of y'all were babies. I was a grown man, a young adult. So I could speak to this. With the clothes we wore back then, even in hip hop was starting to turn to gangster, was starting to turn to gangsterism, the gangster rap. It was going in that direction. But one thing I can say, it was not effeminate. One thing I can say, it was not effeminate. They were still masculine. Even though their message that they're promoting was problematic, they were still masculine. Pac, masculine. Snoop, masculine. Dre, masculine. I'm talking about then. Just masculine. Biggie, masculine. Masculinity was being promoted. We're wearing a lot of us was wearing the baggy jeans and the Tims, the hoodies, the Scullies, or we were wearing the camis, the camouflage joints. Wu-Tang Clan was promoting that. Masculinity. Those brothers still masculine. Salute to the Wu-Tang Clan. 95 was just a different world. It really was. Those of y'all who were alive, who were grown at that time, am I right or am I absolutely right? Y'all can attest to what I'm saying. Y'all can attest to what I'm saying. It was a different time, a different world, a different planet. I actually missed 1995. I wish I could go back and talk to 19-year-old Ryan and tell him, do not join this white man's military. Do not join this white man's military. Join God's military. Join the Nation of Islam. Join the Fruit of Islam. Take your ass down there to the Million Man March and hear the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Hear those black leaders down there. Unite with other black men. I wish I could go back to that time, but I can't. We cannot turn back the hands of time. We don't have a time machine. That's fantasy. But if I could, I would do it for something positive. I would have been a soldier back then. I want to go back to 1994. I would have been out there soldiering with the brothers from Mosque number 1 in Detroit. Been out there in the summer, been out there in the cold winter, in the snow, pushing the final call, pushing the messenger's message. The messenger I'm referring to is the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, pushing his message. 18-year-old Ryan, 19-year-old Ryan. Don't join that white man's military. Don't join that devil's military. It's no place for a black man or a black woman. I'm going to say that again. The military is no place for a black man or a black woman. And I stand on that. Yes, I joined the military. I was in it for 12 years. So I may sound like a hypocrite, but I see things different now than I did when I was in my late teens, 20s, 30s, early 40s, mid 40s. I don't think the same way. I don't speak the same way. I don't move the same way. You're supposed to mature as the years go on. If I still thought the same way I did when I was 19, like now, then something's wrong with me. I'm just an old ass 19-year-old trapped in a 48-year-old body, almost 49-year-old body. What have I learned? If I still think the same way I did 30 years ago, something's wrong. Something ain't right upstairs. Am I right or am I absolutely right? Hit that thumbs up button, smash that thumbs up button down, hit the subscribe button so you get notifications whenever I do videos on here. But the Million Man March is just a great time. Like I said earlier in this video, it was the greatest event in the history of this nation. It was the greatest. It was second to none. The greatest event in the history of this nation was the Million Man March on October 16th, 1995 in Washington, D.C. on a National Mall. I wish I could have been there, but I saw it on TV. I bear witness to it. They even did a movie about it, Get on the Bus. Spike Lee did a movie, that movie Get on the Bus, a year later. It came out in 96. But it was about brothers going on a bus, I believe it was from LA to DC to be at the Million Man March. Get on the bus. They did a movie about it. Thank you, Minister Farrakhan. Thank you. Salute to you, sir. Salute to the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. May Allah be pleased with him. Salute to Master Fard Muhammad. Allah God. Salute to all the brothers and sisters in the Nation of Islam. It was a great event. I wish I could have gone there. Getting a little bit emotional, so I think that's a good place for me to land my plane. But we got to get back to the basics. We have to get back to the basics. We have to learn unity, responsibility, accountability. Those of y'all who were there on the National Mall on that fateful day, on that eventful day, that beautiful, eventful day. Those of us who watched it on TV, remember the pledge we took? Let's hold fast to that. And we have to now more than ever before. Let me just tell y'all what it is. We have to promote unity. We have to promote responsibility, accountability amongst us. We are the leader. Allah requires us to be the leaders in our household, in our families, in our community. That's something we shouldn't take lightly. We are required by God to be leaders. Let's do it, damn it. Let's unify. Let's be responsible. Let's be hold each other accountable. Hold ourselves accountable first and then others. We got to do some soul searching, self-preservation, self-preservation. I'm going to land my plane there. Hit that thumbs up button, smash that thumbs up button down. Hit the subscribe button so you get notifications whenever I do videos on here. Share this video. Share it, share it, share it. Let's have the conversation. Please, let's have the conversation. Share this video. Share it as many times as possible. Hit that thumbs up button. Hit that subscribe button. Won't cost you a thing. Drop your comments below. Let me know what you think. I would love to hear you, to see your comments. We don't have to agree. I know there's going to be some who not going to agree with me on this, but bring it. If you don't agree with me on this, that's your right. But in our disagreements, let's agree to disagree without being disagreeable. And in our disagreements, let's use logic, facts, and respect, not emotion. Not emotion. Not emotion. And disrespect. Do not use that. Y'all be safe out here, brothers and sisters. Like I always say, Satan comes to kill, steal, and destroy now more than ever before. So y'all be safe. Whether you're going to work, coming home from work, dropping your children off at school, picking them up, running errands, whatever the case may be safe. Beware and be aware. Support your brother, support my future projects, support my YouTube channel here. It'd be greatly appreciated. I need y'all love and support. I cannot do this without y'all. I do not take your support and your love for granted. Allah knows that I do not. So on that note, I'm gonna hop off of here. Y'all have a blessed rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon. I'm out. Assalamu alaikum.